it just keeps getting worse and worse. Welcome to another edition of Stairway to 7, everybody. Steelers are sitting at 1-4 right now, and they just can't catch a break. They cannot catch a break at all. Of course, the big story over the last week was how Buffalo completely destroyed them. It was the worst loss they had since 1989 when the Browns beat them 51-0. And you think that coming back home, Kenny Pickett gets the home crowd behind him in his first start at Acrisure Stadium, things will get better for him. Even if he's going up against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are not as good as they've been the last couple of years, but still potent enough. But it just keeps getting worse for them. Friday, the bubble burst. Like, by Friday, the bubble really burst. It was already bad from the beginning, but then the injury report for Friday came out. Levi Wallace is out. Ahkello Witherspoon's out. Cameron Sutton's out. Minka Fitzpatrick is out. DeMarvin Leal is out. Pat Freiermuth is out. 6 players, 6 starters, completely wiped out for this game. 6 players. And DeMarvin Leal's going on IR too, so he's gone for another 4 weeks. You ever see that episode of Dexter's Laboratory where Dexter fires his sister Dee Dee, and as soon as he fires her, he has this montage where he's so excited at first and he feels like that everything is going to be coming up his way because Dee Dee's no longer there to bother him while he's doing his experiments. But then there's a time lapse, and slowly but surely he starts to realize that without her there, there's really no purpose because it's so boring and so completely lifeless that there's nothing left for him to do but just be in complete distress, and he's just by the end of it he's completely he's done with everything. That's this whole season for the Steelers. It starts off so prominently with that win over the Cincinnati Bengals, but every day since then it has gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. There have been a few bright spots, don't get me wrong. Kenny Pickett finally getting into the lineup was a good decision, but that should have been made weeks ago. Finally getting the ball to George Pickens, good decision. Again, should have been weeks ago. Finally throwing the ball downfield, again. Glad you're doing it, but that should have been something that you should have been doing weeks ago. And now we're in this situation here. We're in this situation now where every game at this point is literally a must-win game, but the universe isn't making it easy for him. I mean, you got Tampa Bay coming to town. Tom Brady potentially playing for the final time in Pittsburgh before he finally retires. And it just goes to show you how much Tom Brady really does not care about what he's preparing for, because there have been reports that instead of preparing for this game, he went to a wedding for his former owner of the Patriots. Robert Kraft got married over the weekend, and there was a picture of him. He'd rather be going out to a wedding there instead of preparing for this game. But you know what? He probably figures he's going up against a paper defense without any big stars on it, except for Cam Hayward. A banged-up Cam Hayward, mind you. So he's like, okay, this is going to be a piece of cake. I don't even have to worry about this. That's how bad this team is right now. That nobody's taking him seriously whatsoever. When this injury report came out on Friday, before it even came out, the sports books, the Buccaneers were an 8-point favorite to win. Since this injury report has come out, it's gone up to 10. It's gone up to 10 points, and the Steelers are once again a major underdog at home. And it gets harder and harder to do this and keep hope alive that something is finally going to go the Steelers' way, because nothing is going their way whatsoever. They can't get T.J. Watt back to save their life. They've been 0-8 since T.J. Watt has never. Let me rephrase that. They've been 0-8 when T.J. Watt never plays. They're in the middle of a tough stretch, and they're at a point where they're in position to get a top 5 pick, maybe even the first round pick, and it scares me that that's probably going to happen, because I keep thinking back to what happened with Arizona in 2018. 2018, they draft Josh Rosen. He's supposed to be their quarterback of the future. they never give him a fair shot because they put him with a terrible coaching staff. And instead of blaming the coaching staff on it, they say, no, you're part of the problem too, Josh Rosen. Fuck off. We're going to go draft Kyler Murray with the number 1 pick. And Josh Rosen went from being a prominent first-round pick to a bust in the NFL. That should just show you, like, what I'm worried about here. Because I'm afraid the same thing is going to happen to Kenny Pickett. Because he's going to end up, if the Steelers end up getting the first overall pick, they'll probably go after a guy like C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, one of these top quarterbacks that's coming up. And they'll basically throw Kenny Pickett out there to become a bust somewhere. And it's just like, that's unfair. That's really unfair. But unfortunately, the Steelers would. I seriously don't doubt the Steelers will do that, because they're just in that situation right now that I feel like that the Cardinals were years ago. Like, nothing is going their way. They're gonna blame it on somebody. They're gonna blame it on somebody else when it should be somebody else's fault, the coaching staff. But it's just that, I don't know. The sad part is, I even was given a chance to go to this game tomorrow. I mean, I thought it would be interesting, seeing Tom Brady play in person, see Kenny Pickett make his first home start, having the crowd behind him. Unfortunately, I didn't end up going because the people I would have went with, someone told me more than likely that they would have left after the third quarter if it was a blowout, and honestly, I don't see why that wouldn't happen, but who knows? Maybe it won't happen, but then again, who knows? But yeah, there's no real. I guess to me personally, there's no real fun in leaving a game before the fourth quarter, even if it's a blowout, because you're out of the downtown. You got all the traffic there. You might as well stick around until the end of the game. And luckily, the Rivers Casino is right across from there. You can go in there and walk around a little bit while the traffic dies down, and then. Let me fix that. Got the computer screen on me, but like I said, you go down to the Rivers Casino, walk around a little bit, do a little bit of gambling, and wait for the traffic to die down. But by the third quarter, people are probably going to be leaving by that point anyway. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go tomorrow, which is a shame too, because that was one of those games that I really wanted to go see down there. Still hoping to see the game on Christmas Eve with the Raiders, but yeah, looking at this game overall, I don't think it's going to be any different from what it's been the last couple of weeks. The hope is that the Steelers score more points, more than 3 points. They actually show that there's some effort there, but at this point, I'm not even getting my hopes up at this point because of just how terrible this team has been so far this year. And I really am just out of it right now. Like it takes me a lot to really keep doing these videos, but I can't give up on this. I'm not going to be like the Steelers right now and just completely give up on this right here. I have to keep doing these to show that, hey, I'm still hopeful. But even then, I can't give the Steelers a chance to win this game. I feel like Tampa Bay is just going to come in there and just win this game. It might just be another blowout, but I hope it's not like the Buffalo game. But that's just how I'm feeling right now. I don't think this team will really be that good at all this season. I mean, I'm still of the belief that they're not only going to go 1-7 by the end of the month, they're probably going to be 1-16 by the end of the season. They're just not playing good football right now, and this is just watching these games is like watching these other worst seasons in NFL history. Like it's like watching the Cleveland Browns that were 1-15, the 0-16 Cleveland Browns of 2017, the 0-16 Lions. The 1-15, just all these different 1-15 teams that so much happens, like bad things happen to them, that this is stuff that will later become memorable down the road, and not in a good way for the Steelers if they keep this up. But so yeah, I've got the Buccaneers winning this one, no question. But I'm just hoping for. Can you at least try? Can you please, Steelers, at least try to keep it a close game? I mean, I can't take these games. I can't take games where you stop it. Is you have one big play by the other team, and it's just like, that's it. There's nothing really you could do about it at that point. They don't even try. Like, I knew the game against Buffalo was over as soon as Josh Allen threw that 98-yard touchdown down the field on the first drive of the game. At that point, I knew the game was over, and sure enough, that was pretty much like that, even though Kenny Pickett played well. But, yeah, in the end, it didn't even matter. Like, as soon as that happened, I knew it was over. As soon as Nelson Aguilar caught that touchdown from Mac Jones against the Patriots in the Patriots game, it was over. And just there's been so many of those moments like that this season where it's just like, when does it end? When does it end up ending? Like, when does this bad luck streak end? I hope soon, but it's going to be bumpy. It's going to be a really, really bumpy couple of months. So I'm going to stick with it, but I can't honestly look at the Steelers right now and think they're going to win this game. But with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at my picks for the other games this week. So as you can see, I didn't do too bad this week. It was down from what I had the previous week before, but it was still about the same that I had in week 3. I did pick the Commanders to win over the Bears. I just felt like that was a game that Carson Wentz and the Commanders needed to win to keep them alive in the NFC East. I've got the 49ers beating the Falcons, Browns over the Patriots, Packers over the Jets. I've got the Jaguars sweeping the Colts, the Vikings over the Dolphins. Oh, by the way, Tua Tagovailoa is going to be ready for next week against, guess who? The Steelers. So I guess we can already chalk that one up as another L for the Steelers. But yeah, the Vikings, I think they win that game over the Dolphins, even though I think this game is at home at Hard Rock Stadium. I've got the Bengals over the Saints, Joe Burrow versus Andy Dalton. Ravens over the Giants, 4-2, 4-1 versus 4-1. No, 3-2 versus 4-1. Buccaneers over the Steelers. Rams over the Panthers. Cardinals over the Seahawks. I'm actually picking the Chiefs over the Bills. I can't go against Patrick Mahomes right now, especially after what he did last week against the Raiders. I think it'll make a close game, but I think the Chiefs end up coming out of that one. I think the Cowboys break the Eagles' winning streak. I think they win that game and then take first place in the NFC. And then I've got the Chargers over the Broncos because, let's face it, the Broncos are not a good football team right now. So those are my picks for this week. Now let's go to the local picks.
Welcome back to the Jerome Bettis Show, sponsored by Bet Rivers Online Casino and Sportsbook. Jerome, I'm really starting to enjoy these Beat the Bus segments here. Last week, we were all at least 500 on the week. Jerome, you went 4-4, but Albie and I both went 5-3. So taking a look at what that means on the season, I'm expanding my lead a little bit.
No problem. Got you right where I want you.
That's what you say now. It's a 2-game lead over you, and keep your eyes open there because, hey, Albie's just 1 game behind you.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, Danny. We will get into Bills Chiefs in a moment, but as always, we start with the Steelers, 8-point underdogs to Tampa Bay at home. Jerome, how do you see this one going?
I just don't see this ending well for the Steelers. I mean, they're going to struggle to score points. This Tampa Bay defense, very attacking, a very aggressive defense. With that, I think Tampa Bay covers the line.
Oh, man. Well, you and Albie are in agreement. I'm the one thinking 8 points is a little too much. I'm taking the Steelers in this one.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
All right, now it's time for predictions. Charlie, you're first.
Yeah, I think too many injuries on this defensive side of the ball. I'm going Buccaneers 31-13 today.
Rich, to the field, your prediction.
Well, because I respect Charlie so much, I'm going same score. Tom Brady's going to have a field day.
All right, Jerry Dulac is the only one of this group who's going to pick the Steelers today. He takes them 23-20. I like the Buccaneers big as well.
I honestly don't know how to feel right now. Wait, they're in victory formation. Wait. They won? They won? With Mitch Trubisky under center?
Talking about an offense that struggled to run the football all season long.
They won?
And that was very impressive because the way they had played during the course of the game, I didn't think they were going to be able to overcome that.
They actually won! And they won without TJ Watt.
Mike Tomlin has started off 1-4 a couple other times. Galvanized team in performance this afternoon.
Pittsburgh snaps the 4-game skid with a gutsy performance in front of their home faithful. They won in 2018.
Oh my God. They won? They won without Kenny Pickett. They won with Mitch Trubisky at center. They won a game without TJ Watt. I'm stunned. That's the best way to describe it right now. I'm completely stunned right now because they won? I can't get over it. Like, what have we seen from this team in this 4-game losing streak that made you think that they were going to win another game? I mean, honestly, what did we see there? Except for, I guess, Kenny Pickett playing well, but yeah, of course, unfortunately what happened, Kenny Pickett went out with a concussion. He didn't finish the game. I thought at that point the game was pretty much over because they had to put Mitch Trubisky in, but I still can't believe they won. Like, that's... okay, I really was not prepared for this, but, sum up my thoughts on the game. I mean, for the most part, the Steelers came out swinging. Like, you really didn't think that a team with as many players banged up as they had on here. I mean, 5 players on defense, no Pat Freiermuth, and then right from the get-go, they were just really clicking. Like, the offense was really clicking. Kenny Pickett and the Steelers went down the field, got an opening drive touchdown, which hasn't happened at all this season, except for the defensive touchdown at the beginning of the season by Minka Fitzpatrick. But they really got to Tom Brady, and I was making a joke about how Tom Brady didn't need to be put there for the team practice on Saturday because he was at the wedding of Robert Kraft, but that tells you otherwise. Like, he should have been there with his team, and that'll be a real talking point going forward for this week. But, yeah, the defense held up pretty well for the most part, despite all these injuries, despite all these times where the Buccaneers were so close to the red zone, but they just couldn't put it in. I mean, remember, Leonard Fournette is the guy that killed the Steelers when he played for the Jaguars 5 years ago, and nearly completely ruined their season, but of course we all know what happened with the Steelers after that. But don't worry, they would eventually come back later on in the divisional round. But that's not a completely different subject. But I'm still surprised they won, considering everything that went wrong in those last 4 games and how just ineffective this offense looked under Mitch Trubisky. Which, you know what, Mitch Trubisky, you won this day. I'll give you the credit for today because, man, you pulled out a real winner here today. Like, nobody thought that you were going to be able to save this team. And like I said before, as soon as I saw Pickett go down and Trubisky was coming in, I thought it was over. But he made critical plays when he needed to. He got to Chase Claypool several times, and even at the end, he was close to making a first down to essentially seal it. And then he made the quarterback sneak at the end to do that. Like, where was this before? Where was this in those last 4 games? But, I mean, yeah, give credit where credit was due. We even got to see guys like Connor Hayward make his first big play, that big 45-yard run that set up the second touchdown of the game. I mean, I'm still in shock that they won. Like, I did not think that they were going to go into this. They were not going to win another game at this point with how bad they were playing. But, well, you know, the NFL is crazy. And just to show you how crazy it was, the Giants beat the Ravens, which I did not think was going to happen at all, but the Giants are now 5-1, and the Ravens are now 3-3, which is stunning to think about when you consider all the players they have on the Ravens. I mean, never say never. Like, everyone's talking about how Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. This could be his first one. I'm not ready to say that that's going to change anytime soon because the next 2 weeks are still going to be brutal, especially with Tua coming back next week from Miami. But assuming Kenny Pickett's ready to go in that game, could be a very fun game to watch. And seeing Brian Flores going back to the place that fired him, that could be something as well. And then you got to deal with Philadelphia, who, as of right now, is still undefeated, but we'll see how that changes tonight and next week. Which, that's going to be tough for the Steelers because, like I said before, they haven't won in Philadelphia in 60 years. But, I mean, my view of the season really hasn't changed all that much, honestly. I think this was more on Tampa Bay, just completely overlooking this team, which you wouldn't think a team with Tom Brady would do. I think that's just something that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, like for Tom Brady to do, just overlook a team like this. But it's looking like he did just that. So, like I said before, this really doesn't change my outlook on the season overall. I think that the Steelers got a huge break today. The football gods finally gave them a break, but I'm still not ready to completely turn it over just yet to say that the season is not completely lost. But, I mean, it could be. We've seen Mike Tomlin have these stretches where his team reels off all these wins starting around this time of the year. It happened last year. It was already happening at the start of the season 2 years ago. It happened in 2019, 2018, of course 2017. So maybe this is that. Who knows? But I will say this, and I guess I have to give Matt Canada. I don't even think I need to give Matt Canada some credit, because I still don't know if this was all Mitch Trubisky and Mike Tomlin making these offensive plays and not Canada, because you could still tell that when Canada was calling the plays, they were still not getting anything, and they had a lot of opportunities to blow this game, but in the end, it didn't matter because they won. They won a game. I should be happy, but I'm more confused than anything else. But yeah, I'm not going to be miserable tonight, so that's good. That's good to see that I can finally get a break when I'm not completely miserable because the Steelers lost in a bad way. But I still can't believe they won, man. We've been going on this down note now for the last couple of weeks, and just my thought process was it's not going to get any better from here. But I mean, you go get Tom Brady like that, and you win a game over that. I mean, that's something. That's really something. So, like I said, I'm not going to change my thoughts on the season overall as of right now, but today was a step in the right direction. So let's see what happens next week. Hopefully everybody who's injured gets to come back. Hopefully Pickett comes back. And then we got Sunday Night Football next week. So Steelers won. And I'm still baffled that they did. But they're 2-4, and all hope is not lost just yet. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care. I still can't believe they won.